Hey everyone, welcome to the Typical Ham. My name is Chris, amateur radio call sign W4NRG. On this channel, I try to share a little of what I've learned over the years being in ham radio, along with lots of projects and events. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Today I'm going to show you how to set up an APRS iGate with a Baofeng and an old cell phone. These are good for areas that don't have great coverage with Digipeaters or iGates, or if you just want a fun project. They're also great for an addition to your emergency response kit or an event where APRS coverage is spotty or just non existent. Stick around and we'll get right to it. So let's start with the hardware. I've got here just a regular Baofeng UV5R off of Amazon. Nothing special. This should also work with more expensive rigs as long as you can get the correct audio cable to route the audio from the rig to the phone. Secondly, I have this cable here. It's a commercially made cable called the BTEC APRS-V01. I think it costs about 30 bucks. But if you know what you're doing, you can probably make this cable here for 5 bucks. One end's a simple headphone jack, and the other end is the 2-pin that goes into the Baofeng. Last thing I got here is just an Android cell phone. This should work with almost any Android device, including tablets, and from what I've heard, it'll also work with Android TV boxes. That's really all you need, except I recommend maybe using a better antenna, but different circumstances will call for different things. The one that I have set up here at the QTH permanently is hooked up to my external antenna, and it does pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect all this up, and then we'll pull up the cell phone screen and go into the downloading the app and getting it up and running. So just as simple as plugging it into the Baofeng and plugging the other end into the cell phone. And let's go. I do want to make a mention that this is on 144.390, which is the APRS frequency for the US. But if you're not in the US, that is going to be different. Alright, so what you're going to want to do here is go ahead and open up the App Store. And you want to search for iGate 2. So there's two versions of this app. There's the free version and there's a pro version. The pro version costs $3.49, but the free version will let you try it out. It'll let you do 100 decodes a session, so it's very limited, but it's enough to try it out and make sure you can get it working and it'll work with your equipment. If you buy the pro app, you always have it and you can use it across all of your devices without having to buy it again, as long as you're signed into the same Google account under the App Store. So let's go ahead and open iGate 2 and we'll get that installed. Alright, so now it's installed. We'll go ahead and open it up. And this is going to be the main screen here that you first see. So first thing you want to do is you want to go ahead and go up to the settings here in the top. So here's everything that you're going to need to enter in. Your call sign, the internet server, the passcode, your location, whether or not you want ambiguous position, your beacon text, your beacon symbol, and how often you're going to beacon. So let's start off up here on the top. We'll enter in my information here, which is W4NRG. And this is also where you would put your SSID. So we're going to do -4 for this example. Alright, so you can do either receive only, so everything that decodes stays locally on your phone, or you can do APRS-IS, which is sending it to the online servers. So the passcode is going to be unique to your call sign. So if you need a passcode, you can do a quick Google search and you can get it from pretty much anything that pops up. You just search APRS passcode. I'll post a link to one website that'll work that you can go to. It's not really secret. It's kind of weird. Um, each call sign, you can type in any call sign and it'll pop up. If you enter in false information, you will be banned. So you don't want to play around with this. So you enter in your passcode and then set actual position. So here it'll set your position so you don't have to enter in the lat long yourself. We'll go ahead and do that. It's probably going to ask for permissions. So now you see it filled in the lat long for my location. The ambiguous position. So what that does is it makes it so the beacon that shows up on APRS.fi will be off by 200 yards. So it doesn't show exactly where your house is located, even though if you go to the FCC website, you can easily look it up. But this is good for, say, if it's on private property, or there's lots of different reasons you don't want to put your exact location. So I'm going to go ahead and check that just for the heck of it. So beacon text, this is what's going to be in your text on the beacon on APRS.fi. So I'm just going to put video just for the sake of this. Symbol, so you can pick anything you want here. Gateway is probably the best way to go. Beacon interval, so this is how often it will beacon to the server. So this is going to be through internet. This is not going to be through RF. So I like 10 minutes personally, that because the standard when you go to APRS.fi, usually it's 15 minutes, and anything over 15 minutes won't show up unless you go and change the filters. So at 10 minutes, it's pretty much always visible. And this is really important for what we're doing here. You want to make sure you check this for no SDR. So you can do this without using a radio, and you can use something like an RTL SDR. And I may do a video on that in the future, but today we're just going to stick with the Baofeng. And another thing we want to go ahead and change is the default frequency. If you're in the US, obviously, you want 144.390. So that'll show all the different ones for where you are. I advise you look it up though, just to confirm these. But the US is 144.39. Alright, so all this is set up and we're ready to go. So now we're here at the home screen. Let's talk about these two boxes here real quick. The one on the right will turn green if you're connected to the APRS servers. And the one on the left here will change colors depending to your audio coming from the rig. So it'll turn green when it's right, black when it's too low, and red when it's too high. So with that, let's get things going. Alright, so since I'm here at my QTH and I am inside, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hook up to my external antenna. I am on 144.390. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into my settings, and it's going to be menu number 0, and I'm going to set my squelch to 0 for open. So that way it's always pushing out audio. And since it's receive only, that's fine. But it is important to note that's going to suck your battery. So but for initial setup, you do want to at least do it for initial setup. So I've got my squelch open, and I'm going to go ahead and hook up to this antenna here. And the reason I want to open my squelch is so I can set my audio level in that left box there. So we're going to go ahead and hit run here. And the box on the right will turn green. I'm connected. And the box on the left there, and I'm already decoding packets. Look at that. So I'm just going to turn it down a little bit there until I get a nice color. If it's too high, it's going to overdrive, and it's really, really sensitive. You barely have to turn it. So if you see there, I'm already decoding packets, and since the box there on the right is green, they are being sent to the APRS servers. Alright, you're going to see them 3 counters there, where it says 10, 10, 10. Now it says 11, 11, 11. So from left to right, what they show are the received packets, the forwardable packets, and the forwarded packets. So if you're not connected to the internet or your settings are wrong, the one all the way to the right is going to stay 0. So as long as the one all the way to the right is going up, you know it's connected up and working. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over and take a quick look at the APRS.fi website, just to see that we are beaconing and getting on there, and see what it looks like with our message that we entered in our beacon. So let's do that real quick and we'll wrap things up here. Alright, now here we are at APRS.fi. That's the website. Alpha, Papa, Romeo, Sierra, period, Foxtrot, India. APRS.fi. And this is kind of the screen you'll get. So we'll go over here to call sign, and we'll type in W4NRG-4, enter, and there it is. So there's the beacon for the gateway, W4NRG-4. There's where our beacon message where we put video earlier. We can go ahead and click on this to get info. It'll show us a little bit more here. It's already showing a few stations down here that I've heard directly and decoded and sent to the servers. So that's pretty much it. One other thing that I do want to mention with the Baofeng in the settings is its menu setting number 3. It's called save, and you want to turn that to off. What that is that affects how often and how fast your squelch will open if you are not going to leave your squelch just open completely. Another thing that I advise is if you want to do this, it might be a good idea to get a battery eliminator. That's what I did for the one that I have here at the QTH. I have it so it's always on. The battery can't die if it doesn't have a battery. So that seems to work pretty well for me. It's been running nonstop for a while now. If you want to look it up, it's W4NRG with no SSID. It's just W4NRG, my call sign. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you found this video useful, hit that like button. 73 till next time. This is W4NRG, and I'll be clear.